How's it going? I am Teresa of the Paradox Parlor, also known as Hair Color Fitness, Teresa Ornelas, and I am going to be finishing this lovely little hairpiece today. So if you didn't catch videos 1 and 2, you should go to my channel and watch them now. And they're probably not the most exciting videos because I'm working live making this piece, but I fully explain what's going on. So go watch videos 1 and 2 in the very beginning, fast forward, catch the end, and then you'll be caught up to where we're at right now. This is what it originally looked like, just in this shape. This is the other little teeny tiny piece that I'll be finishing, but these are not what we're working on right now. We're gonna finish this one. So I rough plotted where I want my hair clips to go. Let me get this off. By the way, if you have any questions, please let me know, because I am revamping my channel and working on making things better for you. So anyhow, this is a clip-on hair piece that I'm custom sewing. And I already did the binding, as you can see, that's already been sewn in place. I rough pinned in place where I want my clips to be and make sure that I have enough. I realized the wrong color is here, but I could not find anything lighter in this size, and my client needs it now, and thankfully it doesn't show, so it's going to be great. And this is not necessarily for her to wear on top of her head. This particular piece is going to be worn under her occipital bone, and then this piece that I'm finishing is going to go actually on top under the crown, and then this little one is going to go off to the side under her left side part to fill in. That's what we're doing. Okay, anyhow, so what I'm going to do right now is put my mannequin head back on, and I'm going to get my needle threaded and just start sewing on the hair clips. And then the other two pieces I will be finishing later. And I am working on putting together a workshop, a couple of them actually, where you will be able to learn this exact series of techniques. Let me go check the door. Online and in person. 1 second! Whew, sorry. Thank you so much. Take care. Alright. I'm back. Okay. So, yeah, I keep my door locked. This is the mail lady. What do we have here? Ooh, I know what these are. This is like an impromptu unboxing of sorts, right? I think these are my plant seeds coming from China. So, ooh. They are, what did they give me? What did I order? It's been a while. Yes, these are my canna plants. And it's very interesting because they labeled one of the plants as canna, and it's clearly not. It's they're both tuber kind of plants because I like gardening. So anyhow, and then they gave me some random rose seeds, which I have never been able to propagate rose seeds and get them to grow. And then I got these little seeds here. So that'll be fun. I'll be soaking those later in water, mixing them and getting them to grow. If you want to know how to garden, let me know. That's a totally different video. I get that. Junk mail. One of my books. Excited for this book, Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. Ooh. I don't know if you know who he is, but he has some really phenomenal content on how to get your business really profitable. So I have been working in his One Funnel Away challenge for several weeks now, and my business is going to take a massive turn in the next 2 to 3 weeks, so I can't tell you what I'm working on yet, but it's coming. There's that. don't throw this away, but I can throw this away. And, ooh, this is part of my project coming up. I know it's a delay from what we're supposed to be doing over here with this sew on, but I don't know about you, but when I get mail, I just cannot contain myself. I need to open it, you know? So curious. Plus, I know that this is an old book inside that I have been waiting for. And it's part of this project I'm working on in the coaching program I'm just talking about. So, this is, I can't wait. Okay, obviously I know how to sew because I'm sewing a hairpiece here. And I do teach sewing classes, but this book was published in 1911, and it is The Dressmaker by the Butterick Publishing Company, New York, London, and Paris. I used to work in a library. I love the smell of old books. As much as I love listening to audiobooks, this is pretty awesome. This is the oldest sewing book now that I own, and I have quite a library of books, from hair stuff to sewing, business. A complete book on all matters connected with sewing and dressmaking, from the simplest stitches to the cutting, making, altering, mending, and caring for the clothes. Oh my gosh. Even the fonts and the drawings are beautiful. Just amazing. Definitely smaller font than we're used to. It's cool, right? Books aren't made like this anymore. Okay, back on track. Let me put this away so I don't get it covered in anything that it shouldn't be covered in, like hair. And I'll be right back to get on to sewing the hair piece. Ready? Get comfortable. We have a lot of sewing to do. All right, so I have my needle threaded. And again, the length that you should take should be a workable amount that shouldn't be much more than the distance between what you're holding and your elbow. Anything more than that, and I find it gets very tricky to keep the thread from getting stuck on things and tangled up and knotted. And another thing that can happen is that the thread will break prematurely in the eye of the needle from just constant pulling and use while you're sewing. And if that happens when you're in the middle of sewing and you're not ready to end your thread, well, it's very annoying. And you know, there's things to make sure that you can do to secure that broken end in your stitch line and not have it unravel. It's just so much easier if you don't have to go through that. So, you know, have a workable length and be careful with your material, that you're not too rough with it. Other things that can cause premature breakage of your strand that you're sewing with is like excessive heat, excessive friction, oil, tugging, you know, rough needle. All right, so what I'm going to do is make sure you can still see, and I'm going to lift my chair a bit. Good? All right. I'll work on getting eventually better, what's it called? Cameras, I guess? All right. So get my supplies and whatnot out here. I have another head to work on, and we're going to start sewing on this center top clip right here. So begin by anchoring your thread, putting it in, and make sure that if you can, to tuck the knot under the clip and the free edge also. All right, so now we're going to start to secure it on and make sure that it doesn't move. So hold the loop open and then go back through it before you close it tight. Wrap it around several times. Be sure to pull away or trim away any hairs that get in the way. And when you go through, make sure that you don't go so deep through the hair and the lace that you go all the way to the front side, which is right now underneath. Otherwise, you're going to wind up sewing the hair down flat, and it's going to look weird. And you're going to have to pick it out. And I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it also, when you pick it out and correct it, your stitches are going to be loose, and that's going to make your clip look sloppy. So do anywhere from a minimum of 3 to, I'd say, 5 times looping. And then when you're ready to go to your next hole, enter the right in the same spot as if you're gonna like loop through your same hole again, but this time go diagonal, go through under to the next hole, and then you can loop into the new base spot for the hole right underneath the one you just worked on. And what that does is it just keeps it looking really nice and clean. The fewer times that you have to actually cut the thread you're working with on that clip, like for every hole that you're securing, the better for your thread line. And then just wrap that thread around several times to hold it nice and secure. And then when you go to traverse to the opposite side, it's the same thing. Just very shallowly go through the other end. This will keep your thread tucked away, and even it's not going to show on the underside of the clip because you're actually inside the binding of this material that we sewed on in a previous video. Okay, and so now I like to reposition my head so that I'm always working in the same direction with my needle and thread, which is kind of like, I guess I try and stay clockwise. It just is easier for consistency. And then make sure your top of your clip is lining up where you would want it to be. And take a little bit of the underside base material and go through. And wrap it around several times with that stitch. Secure into the same spot. I should do one more time. then remember, go into the base and then come out. If you have trouble coming out where you want to through the hole, just come out through the base. Traverse across, then put it through the hole of the metal. Because sometimes, you know, you can't get your needle to go through the hole of the clip properly all in one motion. So go in there. Curved needles, you know, you can use a curved needle also. I haven't found a thin curved needle that I like yet. That's not gigantic and super bulky. All right, so now that we have our first clip fully secured, we can remove our pin. And it's time to, again, clear out any hairs that don't belong in the knots. And then you're gonna have to finish this end here and then hide the tail. So what I'm gonna do is pick up just a little bit of the base fabric, but I'm not going to loop through the metal anymore. But I am right at the base of that knot at the metal. And I'm gonna wrap it, pull that tight, and then I'm gonna work it through the base material under the clip about 1 inch. Pull it snug. Take my applique scissors, give it a gentle tug, and then cut. And that will keep all loose ends tucked really, really nice and neat so that when the client goes to use it, I mean, it's just like, this is the neatest, tightest little clip sew-in you've ever seen, invisible style. Very, very nice, very durable. All right, so at this point in time, next is just to continue sewing all of the clips on in the same manner, and then it's done. If the person that was going to wear this piece did not want to wear it with clips, your other option is to use a form of adhesive tape or glue that is designed for working with this. My preference is the, you know, like blue tape or some other form of surgical grade double stick adhesive that is designed for toupees and hairpiece application. Cut it to size around the edge, and then make sure wherever the hair is going to be placed on your client's scalp that it's prepared, you know, pre-shaved and clean, prepped right, so that when you pull the adhesive off, the double stick tape, and you put it on, that they have many, many days and weeks of wear depending on what tape you're choosing. And then it can be very easily cleaned off, removed, and done again. So again, just be careful, but this piece will last a long, long time because it is not cotton. This thread is clear. It is artificial, non-organic material, so it will last a good amount of time, whereas cotton eventually will stretch and break. A little bit easier, the fibers wear away, threads get bare. Some of these man-made threads, though, they're a bit more durable. So you just use the applique scissors to carefully clean up any excess hairs that are around. And now I'm going to stop talking and just move on. So if you want to fast forward to the end when I'm finally done and see the finished hairpiece, that's what you should do. If you have any questions, let me know. Also, subscribe. hard to see. I got the top 3 clips finished, and now I need to continue around the sides and bottom. thread broke. That's what I was telling you, I hate when that happens. Only this time it didn't break at the eye. It broke right here. So I'm gonna have to stitch over that to make sure that it doesn't unravel and then cause the other 3 to unravel. It's all right. Still out of focus. Oh goodness, how long has this been going on for? Broken ass chair. The wheels. It's all wobbly. Alright. So we gotta lock down what I just locked down because the thread broke. Forget that last step. So much easier to knot the end of the thread if you have enough left over for another clip while it's still in the last clip. The tension allows you to keep control over the thread and knot it more accurately in the same spot than if you cut it free and then knot it. There you go. aggravating. Alright, so at this point in time, I'm going to give you a little preview. Oy. Let me get my chair cleaned off so I can stand up on it. So again, if you want to know why the base and the binding is like not matching up, you have to watch the other videos. So these little clips, they just pop open, right? And then it's not done yet. I have more clips to put on, but I'm just going to test it on the head. So if this was like for a real client application, I would be a lot more tidy and neat with my sectioning. But this is just essentially just a fitting with a fake client. So, we're doing it this way. Get this side in right. Won't. See, even with the fake fitting, if you don't fit it on right, it just won't lay down. Okay. So clearly the hairpiece I made is not for this particular head because the color is wrong. Oh, you can't even see. Where am I at? Okay. Anyways, like I said, it's not made for this head, but it's actually not that bad. I mean, it's yellow and her hair is pink, but cut-wise, once I get the other one in, it actually probably wouldn't even look that bad because it's gonna look like this. Da 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 da. Eventually, when it's done, this one will pop in right here. Put a little pin in her to hold it. So when it's done, that's what it will look like, kind of, right? I mean, it's a bad angle. It's not so bad. And on my client whose color is like ding dong matches dead as a doornail, it's like beautiful. And like up close, I mean, aside from the pin holding it in place, you know, you can't even see. It just grows out so well from the scalp. Same thing here. Like even if the hair parts, like, can you tell where the extension is and where her hair is? Let me see if I can part it right here and see if you can tell. I mean, I don't know, you might be able to tell from the color, but see, it's gonna grow out really well from her head with the right color. Because up close, look, no weft, Mom. No tracks. It just looks like it comes straight out of the scalp. You would know that this entire piece here, this entire section, is a hair piece. Get out of there, pink hair. Right? Hair piece. What? Oh! Alright, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. And I already did like a false fitting on my client a while back, so we know that it's going to work on her. She is just eagerly awaiting the clips to be finished sewing on the pieces. Alright, back to quiet work time. Pin. Holy crap! I almost fell off my broken chair. Okay, God, I'm having trouble today. Jeez, please. All right, come on. It's like just not my day, is it? I'm fighting with my inanimate objects. Ugh, bad posture, bad video lighting. No, bad video lighting is not a problem, but maybe bad angle for the video. All right, so anyhow, we work through it all. Go ahead and push, pull carefully, tuck as much of the hair under the piece as you can, even though it's going to be technically upside down. It's just for the ease of sewing your pieces on, the clips on the piece. Get all this hair out of your way. It's just easier than pinning it. All right, or clipping it. I mean, because we're pinning it. All right. Needle. And more thread. It looks like we've got 1, 2, 3 more clips to put on. And I'm gonna try to get this done and then be done for today with this piece. I'll do the other pieces another day. I got other stuff to do. I got people who's sick at home. How many people are sick? Let's see, my husband, he's not feeling good. Our 14-year-old, he's not feeling good. Our 11-year-old, she's not feeling good. And our 5-year-old, she's not feeling good. Although, ooh, what's on me? Hair? Do you ever just feel like those creepy feelings of like there's a spider on you? Even though clearly it's probably just the hair from the mannequin head in front of me. Yeah. All right, just finished knotting the synthetic thread. There we go. All right, since we're going to be doing 3, I advise you to just choose, do I want to do 3 or 4? Let's see. If I mock out, sometimes, you know, like you think you need more to hold it secure, but it's just too much. I think 4 is too much. I really do. I think it's going to be like bulky on the head. So anyhow, to make sure that you're distributing your clips evenly across the hair, work in halves and then fill in the gaps, okay? So my top and bottom clips are fairly, perpendicular, parallel to each other, as close as possible while still maintaining as much symmetry of distance between the 2 clips that will be to the left and right of this new clip that you're setting down. You don't want your clips to look all funky when your client turns the hair piece over. And you want your pieces to be like securely anchored evenly all the way around, and if you don't have equal distribution, the tension is going to be weird on the hair and on the scalp. It's not going to be a good thing. Now in this area, I have a small gap from the manufacturer's bound edge and the bound edge that I custom created for this particular client. And you will be able to see that the manufacturer's non-bound edge is not, their bound edge is not nearly as wide as mine, which is still more narrow than the clips. And the issue with the piece not having the manufacturer finding as wide and thick as mine is that you have to be a lot more careful about how you sew and anchor to that particular area where it's the manufacturer's reinforced area of the hairpiece. So when you go and you sew your clips to that area where it's real thin and fine, be careful because you can easily put holes into the piece. So make sure that you take a slightly different section to sew through each time. And if you look up close at your material, it's a very, very fine mesh. So just make sure that you don't go through the same mesh, teeny tiny hole every time, otherwise you're gonna blow it out and make a hole. Now, could I have opted to put my own binding all the way around, even over the manufacturer's edge? Yeah, I could have. But if I had done that, I felt like it was going to make it bulkier in this little area potentially. And I didn't want to do that on this particular client's hair piece because her hair being so fine and not populated densely, I didn't want any odd bulk to come up. In the future, I don't know, I might just cut off the manufacturer's bound edge most likely and create my own. And secure it one more time through the regular net. When in doubt, just throw in one more knot. You don't want it to come undone on your client. Alright, so that is done, and now we just have 2 more to put on. If you're in a position where you have to sew on the manufacturer's base and it's not reinforced, I do advise you to start your base knot for the entire clip on a thick section closer to the edge. See, where like these 2 holes will for sure be able to get on the manufacturer's bound edge, and then the other 2 holes farther inside will be on the base without the manufacturer's bound edge. So at least a good majority of the weight and wear is going to be on these here holes up front on the stronger part of the material. All right, one last clip to do. All right. You know what? It's a good day for sewing hair pieces. So at this point, just very, very carefully comb the piece to make sure that there's nothing that's tangled or caught in any of your sewing threads. You don't want your client to have to deal with that. That's always, unnerving. So just really, really carefully, it's like you're kind of just gently scratching the fake scalp. You're not trying to dig in, you're just kind of raking back. And not crazy amounts of pressure. You're just looking to free it up and make sure that it moves naturally. Because if any of the hairs are sewn down to the piece, it's going to look funky. So, there it is. Okay. And I will get a picture shown later of my client wearing it. Maybe she will give me permission to actually video putting it on her. So, we'll see. I do think I'm actually going to sew a special carry bag for her, a little pouch on my sewing machine, but that will be another day. See you later. Oh yeah, subscribe to my channel. I am Teresa Ornelas of the Paradox Parlor, Hair Color Fitness, and the Paradox Parlor on Instagram. Follow me there, follow me here, and see what fun comes up next.